Hey, I'm Chris. I'm the Longbox Punk, and I'm here to give you a brand new indie comic review. This comic specifically is on Kickstarter. It is fully funded, and there are only 5 days left as of the date of this recording. The campaign ends on Thursday, August 14th at 12:01 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. It's got 51 backers. Like I said, it's already over and beyond its minimum base funding. And just to, push further into the stretch goals, I want to tell you a little bit about this super fun story called The Family Graves. This series is actually a one-off of an existing series. The Ice Cream Spectacular is what is funding on Kickstarter. You can also do backup or catch-up tiers of the original 4-issue series of the Family Graves, digitally and physically, so you can get the entire story with all of these characters and this super fun one shot. So you might be asking, like, what do you mean all these characters? What is this story about? Well, see, here on this cover, we've got a werewolf dad, we've got a Medusa mother, a daughter that's a siren. Right there, front and center, we have the fish boy son, who also is telepathic. And then, probably my favorite character is the zombie baby, because every good family needs a zombie baby, right? As you might expect, or you might not expect, this horror tinged family comedy action comic is a whole lot of fun. Here's cover B, also by the main series artist. And if you have been around Longbox Punk for a while, you might remember that time that I had Frederick Hornberg on the show, and this is his variant cover, which I freaking love because Fred does badass horror, looks in that very vintage aesthetic, which is super great. So 3 super fun covers. Here is the main team. My thanks to Tim for sending this over to me. Sorry that we couldn't get you on the show. My schedule is already full, which is insane. But we've also got Brian Atkins that did pencils and the inks. There's Joshua Jensen on colors. We've got Marco on letters and production. And then we also have Fred doing the art on cover C. Now, I know you want to see some pages, so let's look at some pages, huh? I'm not going to give you all the thing. It gives you a quick catch up, which for me was helpful because I was unfamiliar with the series when it first came out. And so it gives you a little catch up of the family here and their abilities. It gives you a setup of the story so far. And then we immediately jump in. Sorry, my browser is weird. And it's weird showing this double splash page, but we get a double splash page of super like mid fights, no setup, no slow introduction. You're just diving head first into the deep end of a battle between our family and a brain monster with sprouted legs and can fly. We've got the little zombie baby flying around down here, grabbing the brain monster's like splorchy things, that little offshoot guys. And we've got the fish boy up here jumping down at him, the werewolf dad just taking a big old bite out of the brain, Medusa freezing up some of the other ones. We've got the siren sister down here also fighting to defend her brother. It just goes right bonkers into action, and it does not let up. It's great because we jump into the action, which immediately hooks the reader on just adrenaline and energy right off the bat. And then it's told from the perspective of Fishboy Lum, which I hope I'm saying that right. And he kind of goes back in time and like resets, like, "Ooh, maybe we should take a second." And so he goes back and explains how we got here, how this brain monster is actually kind of his fault for existing in the first place. And then we see a little bit more about the family. Yeah, here's the flashback. Brain freeze happens to the best of us when we're eating ice cream, because we just, it's summer and ice cream's great to eat in the summer. But he gets a brain freeze, and because he's telepathic, right, and he's still trying to get a handle on his powers, the burst that goes out when he gets a brain freeze hurts everybody else at the pool. So it's like he's a danger to not only himself but everybody else around him if he can't get his brain powers under control. And so we keep moving along. I'm not going to go too far because I want you to just back the campaign and read it and get yourself a copy. But this family, super fun. I really enjoyed this book. It definitely, like, there were several moments where I audibly laughed at jokes and one-liners or things that might be happening. There's a really great bit with the baby zombie once the mutated brain monster comes out of the lab, that, if you think zombies and brains, it's good. It's good. It's a recurring bit. Anyway, my thanks again to Tim and the team behind the Family Graves for sharing this with me. I hope you'll check out the campaign, which is linked in this description, so it's easy to tap in and check it out. Dude, Fred, you're slaying with this cover. Super great stuff. I hope you will go and check out the Family Graves. You got 5 more days to do it on Kickstarter, and you're guaranteed to get it because it's already funded. So that's going to be it for this indie comic review. Now go do what's good for you, punk, and read some indie comics, because I am out of here.